Is it possible that the smallest parable in the Bible has one of the largest meanings in the Bible? It would only be fitting for a mustard seed referenced twice, and being the smallest seed that grows into a tree that can host birds to take shade in, to have one of the most profound meanings that many may not have ever noticed. Only our Father in heaven is able to show us His wisdom when we ask for it and when we are ready for it. Matthew 13:31-32. Another parable He put forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all seeds, but when grown is the greatest among herbs, and becometh a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. The common interpretation of the parable of the mustard seed is that the mustard seed represents the kingdom of Yah, which begins tiny and over time expands or grows into a worldwide system, becoming the home for many nations or many people. They dwell there in peace, safety, and harmony. This looks good and true on the surface, but after analyzing the symbols, we will see that it is incorrect and does not hold water. And if you listen to that again, it almost sounds like the New World Order, if you ask me. Verse 31 is very clear. Everyone agrees that the man, the sower, is Yeshua HaMashiach. As in the parable of the tares, again, the field is the world. Did Yah not pull us out of the world? However, the mustard seed is a bit more controversial. We learn in the parable of the wheat and the tares that the seed is the means by which a plant grows and reproduces itself. It makes no sense to say the kingdom of Yah grows by the means of the kingdom of Yah. The mustard seed cannot be the kingdom of Yah. It is instead an agent of the kingdom of Yah, to work to make the kingdom of Yah grow and expand. Notice Yeshua does not say the kingdom of Yah is a mustard seed, but it is like a mustard seed. It is an analogy, and as in all analogies, the correlation is not exact. The comparison between the mustard seed and the kingdom of Yah is not so close as to be identical, but it is a representation that explains a certain aspect of Yah's kingdom. So what is the mustard plant? In the Greek, the word for it is sinope, the common word for mustard. Black mustard grows all across America, which is used to make the mustard that we put on hot dogs, beef of course, hamburgers, and sandwiches. Normally the mustard plant grows to be about 4 to 6 feet tall, with spindly branches. However, it is not a tree, and it is a mustard plant. The largest mustard plant, even under ideal conditions, can grow only to a height of about 15 feet. Luke 13:19 describes it as a large tree, yet the natural mustard plant is not a large tree by any stretch of the imagination. All varieties of the mustard family, which are herbs, have thin, pulpy, not woody stems and branches. It's nothing like a tree. But even if it grows to 15 feet, does the mustard plant become a tree? No, the mustard plant is always a shrub. It does not grow a thick trunk and large branches. Most of the time, it does not grow past 6 feet. So what is the tree that Yeshua speaks of? This mustard plant did something abnormal. By growing beyond its design parameters, it became larger than what Yah designed as normal. As the church grew from a tiny seed to a small mustard bush, it was as Yah designed it, but over time it mutated into a large tree, something never intended by Yah. This plant ceased to be Yah's church when it perverted its doctrines and objectives, moving beyond Yah's intended limits. It became a counterfeit of the true church, appropriating the name Christian and blending or synchronizing pagan mystery religions with Christianity. Eventually, it called itself the Roman Catholic Church and later produced Protestant daughter churches whose doctrines are rooted in Catholicism. So what became of the true church? When the mustard seed plant mutated from its original form, Yah replanted his true church in another corner of the field, beginning the process anew. It is a consistent characteristic of Yah's true church to remain as a small herb, spiritually feeding the few who are chosen to become regenerated children of the kingdom of Yah. The historical development of the Church of Yah would be one of humble beginnings. However, this parable contains more than this important truth. Hidden within it is a warning about the perversion of the church's method of growth and of satanic attacks upon it. This parable is an analogy, and with all analogies, the symbolism is not exact but similar. Therefore, the symbolism of the kingdom of Yah being likened to a mustard seed is not identical, yet it explains a particular aspect of the process that the church goes through in preparing for Yah's kingdom. We know about the mustard seed. This is one point that the people always get from this parable, that it is among the smallest of all cultivated seeds. Its smallness, then, is really our only clue to what the parable is teaching. The mustard seed represents something small that does its part in expanding Yah's kingdom. What could it be? In Matthew 7:13 and 14, Yeshua HaMashiach says that the way that leads to eternal life is difficult and narrow, and there are few who find it. Matthew 20:16 reiterates this by saying that few are chosen. In Luke 10:2, when he sends the 70 out, he says, the laborers are few. In Luke 12:31 through 32, he refers to his church as a little flock. Just before the day of Pentecost, in Acts 1:15, put the number of disciples, or perhaps families, at about 120. Not very many for 3.5 years' work. It was a little flock. Romans 9:27 quotes Isaiah saying that the remnant will be saved. Consider also the small pinch of hairs that Ezekiel stuck in his pocket, and then he took some of them out and burned them in the fire too. 1 Corinthians 1:26-29 says that Yah called the weak and the base of the world to put to shame the mighty and the noble. So what then is the mustard seed? Simple. It is his church, the few, the small, the weak, and the base. He is referring to those who voluntarily submit to Yah's dominion, the kingdom of Yah. And they are absolutely few indeed at this point in time, compared with the 50 billion people who lived on this earth. But then we have the birds of the air. What or who are they that seek the shade in the kingdom of Yah? In the parable of the sower, we see that the birds of the air eat the seed that fall by the wayside. And to be honest, it does not sound good that the birds eat the seed. And it is not. The birds of the air are a negative symbol. And in verse 19, instead of saying birds of the air, Yeshua interprets them as the wicked one, devouring the seed. In Mark's version, he uses a specific word, Satan, and similarly, Luke has the devil. Matthew 13:18 and 19. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside. Then notice Genesis 15:11, where Abraham is making a covenant with Yah. And when the vultures come down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. What were the vultures doing? They were interfering between Yah and man, trying to defile Abraham's sacrifice. In Deuteronomy 28:26, a somewhat different context being within the blessings and cursings chapter, has this as a curse. Your carcasses shall be food for all the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth, and no one shall frighten them away. Yah promises that there will be no Abraham around, as it were, to fend off the birds. Birds of the air is a negative symbol. Revelation 18:2 really nails this down. And an angel cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean, hated bird. So what are the birds of the air? Demons. They try to get us when we are young in the church. Like the lion of 1 Peter 5, they go for the stragglers, the weak, and the newborn, because they are easy pickings. What is step 1 of Satan's plan against the church? Attack Yah's people early in their calling, distract them, persecute them, crush them, before they are strong enough to resist. Matthew 17:20. And Yahshua said unto them, Because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto the mountains, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Here's one last little detail. For those of you who might think their race is the chosen from among men by Yah, a mustard seed may be colored from yellowish white to black. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified of future videos. We look forward to exploring more of the Bible's secrets and how they are relevant to us today. And may our Father in heaven bless you on your journey.